So anyway, let's go ahead and get this party started. I'm Dr. Maureen Hayes from Galveston, Texas, and I'm joined by the regulars, Jim and Ann Glenn from San Antonio. Jim is our big money man, and Ann is our beautiful nutritionist and personal trainer. And of course, we have the illustrious Dr. Lee Osler from Washington State, our dentist extraordinaire and author of several books on redox, biochemistry, biology, and how to use them. So amazing fund of knowledge on this call. And tonight we have an absolute treat. You know, Leland, I don't know
why I moved it.
What? Hey, mute yourself.
Sorry, I thought I did.
Leland, I'm not sure if you've been on the 5 before. It was when I was taking one of my many nights off. So it's my first night. You've been on twice. I take a few nights off. But anyway, it's so awesome to have you here. And for those of you who don't know Leland, he is what I consider a renaissance man. He has so many talents, so many things that he's successful at. And here he is with us tonight to share some of that knowledge and experience with you. Just to give you a little bit of background on Leland, and Leland, you can fill in any of the gaps. He's from Frisco, Texas. He has a background.
Plano.
Oh, Plano, Texas, somewhere in Texas, Dallas area.
Texas.
Close enough.
So somewhere he's north of me in Galveston. And he's got a background as an athlete. Also, he's a PA in orthopedics, so has done surgery for a number of years, owns his own businesses, developed different braces and prostheses for athletes. Cattle rancher, owns what, Ann? Were you going to chime in?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, just amazing. Just a plethora of things that he has done and has been successful at all of them, including coming on board here and sharing it with so many people that it's just been just incredible to watch his growth. Just an incredible human being, so sincere, so brilliant, really, and looks just like the most interesting man in the world, if you ask me. So it just needs a Dos Equis. So Leland, come on and kind of take us back, because, you know, initially you had so much on your plate that you didn't really take a good look at this, and then things changed for you. So if you don't mind, you know, fill in the gaps that I might have left and kind of catch us up to where you were and how ASEA came into your life. And maybe even before that, why don't we tell people, you know, what we're talking about? So, Dr. Lee, do you want to jump in there and give a disclaimer and a little explanation of the breakthrough that we're sharing with people tonight?
Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll set up Leland here, hopefully for success. But
oh, I didn't do a good job.
Yeah, right. Hi, everybody. You know, we're all representing as independent associates a company called ASEA Global, and this is marketing a cellular health supplement. It's governed in this country, in the United States, as well as all other countries in their respective government regulatory agencies by our FDA-like rules, which mean that we don't make claims, we don't diagnose, we're not curing diseases. This is a cellular health supplement that helps the cells kind of wake up and start doing, you know, what they were designed to do. I like to call it activating the inner doctor. It's healing from the inside out. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And, you know, to kick that off, Leland, as you begin doing what Maureen cued you up to do, maybe you could just, you know, also somewhere in there weave in, what is a signaling molecule? What does that mean? Go ahead.
Well, thank you for the introduction. You know, a signaling molecule, when we take this product, it signals our cells. This is not a treatment or a cure for any particular sickness or illness. It's a cellular communicator. When you put it in your body, and to keep it simple, it kind of acts like the foreman of your body. It knows where to go and what to do. And it really doesn't matter what the diagnosis is, whether it's simple or very complicated diagnosis. All diagnoses start with inflammation or oxidation at the cellular level. And if you can reach it at the cellular level, then guess what? Your body heals itself the way it's meant to be. And to me, that's the beauty of the science, is that we have a product that we can take. It's 100% non-toxic. It cannot hurt you. It can only help you. And what led me to this company is I had a health challenge. As Maureen said earlier, my background had been in medicine as an orthopedic physician assistant on the surgical side. Did some stuff in the clinic for years as well. And then having kind of an entrepreneur spirit, I opened my own medical companies and had a chain of retail stores in town. Then I joined a manufacturing facility and we developed and designed orthopedic sports braces. We started locally with hospitals and colleges and then grew nationally. And then we started the Olympic teams and ATP tennis, and we supplied NFL and NBA players around the country. So we made American-made products for athletes to help them to be better supported during their activity. And so I was with a company we built for 10 years and sold. We started another one, built it for 10 years and sold it. And I'm involved with another company now. It's the third one. And the first two were 10-year stands. So I'm with this one right now, 8 years. And so still doing it, still love it, still helping people on the athletic side. And I'm a cattle rancher, and playing sports. So I was always pretty active. I never really thought of being unhealthy. I worked hard, played hard, and then I was working my cattle one day. And after I did all day in the corrals, I went to bed. And that next morning when I got up, I couldn't even roll over on my own mattress. And all my hands had turned into my palms like a stroke patient maybe. I didn't know what had happened to me. All I know is it scared me. And my wife helped me finally to my feet, and I got to the hospital, and 7 weeks later diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder that really just brought me to my knees. And I was very scared. I tried the medical route for 14 months. I tried everything they could throw at me, and nothing really seemed to work. And I had lost hope, to be honest with you. I was thinking some crazy thoughts. I couldn't take the cap off a bottle of water. I couldn't dress myself without help or go to the restroom. It was a very humbling time for me and very hard to accept. But I either got better or I knew that was the end. And everything I'd worked for in my businesses and everything, I thought I would lose them. So you can imagine the fear that I had. But I had a friend that had contacted me 2 years before my autoimmune hit me, and had talked to me about this company. And I laughed at it and called it snake oil because I had not studied it in my medical training at all. Didn't know what it was. I thought it was somebody just trying to sell me something. And after 14 months, he continued to follow up with me. But for me, I was involved with 3 companies. I didn't have time for anything else, wasn't looking for anything else. But when this hit me, it got my attention. And he called me again, and the timing was just right. And he said, please give this a try. I think it can help you. He said, I don't understand why you'll take all the medications and things you're going through and you're not seeing results, but you won't even try something that's non-toxic and can't hurt you. He said, can you explain that to me? And I said, well, because I didn't study my medical training. And being Terry, he goes, well, you wouldn't have. You're old, and this is new science. So, take a look at it. So I did. And I was up till probably 4 a.m. On pubmed.gov looking at the peer review articles from doctors around the country. And there were about 15,000 articles on this product. And it gave me hope again. And I was so excited. I called my sponsor, Terry, back and said, hey, I want to go to the company. I want to check this out. And so we did. And when I went there, I don't wow very easy. I don't get impressed too easy because I work with a lot of big businesses and I work with big athletes. And so it doesn't impress me that much sometimes because I've done it for so long, I guess. But when I went in that company that day, I was impressed all the way from being an FDA and FTC approved plant. The leadership was incredible. The ethos of the company, from what was explained to me, it's like something I'd not seen before. And I came home excited, took the product in the first week, about 8% of my discomfort went away. Second week, my depression had started lifting. And then the third week, my hands began to open and close. I was very happy at that moment. And I still didn't understand it, to be honest with you, because I studied orthopedics, not cellular science, but I just knew and I felt that it was good in my body. And I continued with it. And I did that for about 90 days. And after 90 days with my doctor's approval, I came off 3 medications that I had been on for 8 to 10 years for high blood and sugar levels and high uric acid levels. And it was blowing my mind. And all I could think about was how many people I knew that I either went to church with or was worked in businesses with or athletes that were suffering and hurting and could use this product. So I just made a list of people. I said, I have to know, is this going to help others or did it just help me? And my first 30 people I reached out to, I knew their specific issue that they were dealing with, and they got on the product, and those first 30 people saw results, and that really blew me away, Doc. And at that point, I knew that I had something that had been better than when I was in the clinic. And that's really where my journey started with this company, is trying the product out and seeing what it did for me. And so I've been with the company 7 years. I've continued to grow with this company and change lives around the world. And, it's more gratifying for me than really assisting on a surgery or helping or put an athlete back on the field. This really changes the dynamics of their life. And so it's been a very gratifying thing to help people, whether it's with their health or with this is a vehicle really for health or for wealth, because if you're doing it on the business side, then you can share with family and friends and loved ones. And if they get involved, then the company pays you for the referral, just like you would if you went out to a restaurant or a movie and we like it, we tell our friends about it. But those people never paid me anything. This company pays you when you do that. And now, after 7 years, in my income here is superior to my other companies. It started off as a side gig to get healthy, and then it grew a little bit with the business side. And now I'm just full blown into it. I still have my other two companies, but this is my love and ranching. And so I want to continue to do this. And I run by people every day that need this product, and it's safe. And that's the beauty of it. It doesn't interfere with any medications or any form of treatments because it's native to your body. It's already in your body. It's the lack of in your body that's probably causing your issues. So I just encourage people to get on the product and let it see what it does for them.
I like that comment where you say it's a side gig to get healthy. That's kind of a nice way to characterize it.
Well, that's where I started. About 80% of the people are product users. There's only about 20% of them, Doc, that use this on the business side. But so many of them get involved and to buy it as a customer. And when they see what it does, they're blown away. And then at that point, they want to switch over and become an associate. That way, by the state, it allows you to make money. As a customer, you can use the product, but you can't work the business side of it. So I let people walk until they're ready to run. I didn't want to be pushed, so I don't want to push people. But this is a beautiful company, and this is something you can do from home with your phone. If you got a cell phone, you're in business. With all my other businesses, we spent tons of money to get started, upfront money, just like when you buy a franchise or open a big company. We had $1 million inventories and 150 employees. And, it takes a lot to run a brick and mortar type business. And there's a lot of headaches that go along with that. And I've helped build 2 and sold them. Now I'm on the 3rd one. And, I don't get paid for any of those companies anymore after all the work that I did. This company has a residual income. As you build it, you get paid on everyone in your organization. And if something happened to me today, my family would continue to receive the money from this organization. I never really knew about residual income that way. I didn't know this type of business existed really like this. There are network marketing companies out there. I call ours more next level marketing because I don't have to stock anything or ship anything or bill anything. I just buy the product for what I use at my home. And if other people want to use the product, they get to purchase the product at the same price I do. So I love that business model of not having to stock a product and buy it and mark it up to your friends, because I wouldn't be interested in that. So this is just a matter of not much different than if you want to share your faith. All you can do is share it. What they do with it's up to them. So I don't get involved in the outcome, but whether they say yes or no, I just feel more of a moral obligation, my medical background, to share this with people, to let them know that there's a new science here, and it's in the top 5 sciences in the world today, Huffington Post says, and they're ranking it right up there with the discovery of DNA and penicillin. So I tell people, if you want to look younger, if you want to feel younger, you want to be healthy and live into your later years, I don't know with my medical background of anything that would be better than put this into your body, because it's non-toxic and can't hurt you. And I've been on it 7 years, and I came off those medications. I came off, my skin is healthier. I look younger. I'll be 71 this year. And it's just been amazing, this product for anti-aging. It's at anti-aging conferences around the world. This is one of the first topics. The ASEA, or redox signaling molecule, is one of the first things on their agenda to talk about. So today there's I believe it's 500,000 articles now written by physicians on PubMed.gov. So I encourage people, don't say no to something that you don't know what you're saying no to. Make sure you research it, make sure you know what it is and see how great it is. Google's kind of the bathroom wall of the internet. You can see anything on there from anybody. That's not where you go to research a product. You go to where the doctors write about it. And so you're going to see good and bad on Google. Usually the bad is the people that don't want you to promote this product because it affects their business in the pharmaceutical world or wherever. So I just encourage people, don't be dumb like I was for 2 years and say no to something that I didn't know what I was saying no to. Make sure you do your homework and realize that I believe in 10 years, you're going to know this just like you know Kleenex in your home. Everybody's going to know the brand of Redox. And we have a Redox family of products. I think we have 14 products now. So unbelievable. Each product is for a different thing. So you can, if you're interested, get back with the one who invited you on this and take a look at it, look at the products and see if it's for you or your family or a loved one, because it's real and it's going to get bigger. You're probably glad that someone shared this with you now and you learned about it.
I know we all are. Wow, you hit everything there, Leland. Kind of wrapped everything up. But, it's interesting. I love what you said about, you were getting healthy and yet you were sharing it. We're successful. The people on here, we're successful at the business side of it too. But it was because we were passionate about what we had our hands on. And as medical professionals, especially having something this powerful and this non-toxic, like you said, I know I felt like people needed to be educated. I, as a healthcare professional, had never heard, back when we joined 11 years ago, I had never heard the verbiage. I had never heard of redox signaling molecules. And so when I realized how powerful they were, and it was through a personal experience, sort of like yours, mine was my husband getting his health back. I realized that if I didn't know about it, then people on the street probably definitely didn't know about it. And so I made it my mission to educate people. And it's so funny. My sister is part of my organization, and she doesn't really build it. She shares it, organically, but she does well. And she was telling me she got her 1099, and she said, I looked at how much I made and I subtracted what I spend on my personal products. And I realized that this company is paying me for me to get well. And I was like, how amazing is that? Not everybody wants a big time income. Some people just want to cover the cost of their own products. But here's the opportunity to change other people's lives, but also to get paid to get yourself healthy, which is just amazing. And so, I love that you talked a little bit about the business because you have so much experience there with the brick and mortars. And you talked a little bit, if you don't mind, I'm sorry, there's people who can't get on the call.
Yeah,
I don't know.
just so you know, I've got Alan Noble checking into it. So guys, please hang in there. We really don't know what's going on with the ASEA Discover ASEA link, but we do have quite a few people on.
Yeah, we're talking to the people who are on.
Yeah.
Your friends are texting you. Send them to ASEA United, right? They can watch it
Yeah,
live.
that's what I was going to say. Live on
And
Facebook.
we will have the recording up
Yeah.
after this. Hey, real quick, Leland, how much were you drinking? Someone asked, and we always do like to ask that question. How much were you drinking in the beginning?
Well, on the bottle, it says to take 4 ounces a day to start. And I was on some medications, and this product is a detox product. So when you take it, it helps detox your body, which is a good thing you need to do. But if you have multiple things going on, you can take a lot more. And so I started off with 2 ounces in the morning, 2 in the evening for 2 or 3 days. And then I bumped it up to 4 ounces in the morning and 4 in the evening, went up to 8 ounces. And then within a week, I was taking 12. And then I actually went up to 16 for about a month. And then I dropped back down to 14. And I've stayed at 14 ounces for 7 years. And there's days I take more if I'm running my cattle or I'm in the cattle pens, or if I'm trimming trees at the ranch and, working all day out in the field, I'll take more just for my endurance and my energy. If it's a casual day in the office, I'll maybe take 10 or 12 because I'm not just really out there doing things, but I'll always be on this product for what it's done for me. To be able to do what I do at my age most guys in the 50s can't keep up with me. And I don't say it to brag. I'm just saying I couldn't do that at 62 or 63. It's 71 on cattle ranch. And
Yeah.
I could not do without the product. And whether it's the drink or the gel that helps from the outside in and the drink from the inside out, this is a 100% safe product. And when I saw what it did for me, why would I ever want to get off of it? Because we're taking toxins into our body every day through our stress, through our food, through what we drink, our environment. Like 90% of our issues come from our environment. So why not be preventative? Why not take it in preventative and try to make sure that you don't have any of these issues? May all those sicknesses or illness bypass you because you're on this product as a preventative measure. And that's what I like to do, because I've had a couple of illnesses, and one of them was really bad, that I really didn't know if I was going to pull through it. And I was able to get to because I was in ICU, I was able to get to my product and take it and saw my numbers drop overnight. I'm a big believer in this product because I've seen what it's done for me. And if people want to be skeptical or cynical, that's okay. That's who I was. That's exactly who I was. So,
well, Leland, can you talk to the people out? Because I think everyone on here, maybe Maureen, maybe you did not have a rapid, you could tell that it's working, what we call your aha moment. But Leland, you did, and maybe Maureen or Lee, and I want Lee also to maybe touch on that detox stuff. Why is this doing a detox thing? And again, what is that all about? But Leland, talk to the people out there that, hey, I don't feel it. Hey, how do I know it's working? I mean, it just sounds, again, I always say it sounds too good. If there's anything that sounds like snake oil, this is it, right? But talk to the ones out there that have been on it for maybe a week or a month or 2 or 3. Give them hope.
That's a good question, Jim. And it's interesting. Our company talks about that 15% of the people usually see results in the first week, and I was one of those 15%ers. I felt it immediately. Half of the people feel it in 30 days, but 90% see results in 90 days. And Jim, 90% is better odds than we could give some of our surgery patients. And that blew my mind. But I have seen people that's been on it 6 months or 8 months, and then it kicked in. For some reason, it acts as the knows where to go and what to do. Just because you don't feel it doesn't mean it's not working. And I encourage people that are skeptical like I was, go to your family doctor and get your blood work done, complete blood levels, and then ask them to do your sed rate level.
Yep.
Because your sed rate is your inflammation marker in your body. That shows how inflamed that you are. Get on this product for 90 days and go get your blood work done again and compare your first test and your second test, because that's the proof in the pudding people should be looking for, because those tests don't lie. And that's the real thing that's happening in your body. If you were on medication maybe for your heart, you don't necessarily feel it either. You're just trusting that it's working. This is a preventative product as well. And it's for cellular health. And it doesn't take minutes or hours once you use the gel or whatever. It's milliseconds. It travels very quickly within the body. And I can do a core strength test or whatever to show people how quick it does work. But if you stay on the product, I believe that it'll work. And I have so many testimonies of people around the country, this has changed their lives. So I tell people, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you try something that can't hurt you and give it 90 days? For me, I gave 60 something years. I didn't get that way overnight, and I'm not going to change it overnight. You continually get better the longer you're on the product, and that's what I've experienced.
So, Lee, can you maybe because it says it's a dietary supplement, and again, it's made from salt water. We always like to hit on that, but why would, people are saying, hey, you got to drink water, which maybe that's tying into the body rebalancing, what some people call a detox. But can you go over why is this even doing that? Why is that important? Please.
Yeah, if we kind of reverse engineer this, we're all wanting to be well and healthy. And that means that we're turning on pathway genes, that's our DNA, that activates mechanisms and processes that keep us healthy and resilient. That, it's the defense, it's the capability, the stamina, the ability to resist toxins and diseases and the virus that comes around or whatever. So we want to upregulate. We want to increase our capability in that regard. And nature has designed a mechanism that we can do that. And that involves using what we call bioreactive molecules. We make them natively in our mitochondria when we metabolize glucose. When we metabolize in the mitochondria, Krebs cycle, electron transport chain for the physicians and the biologists watching us tonight, that's all where that is. When we call this, we say this is innate. These are native. We're doing this ourselves, is making these high energy molecules that we use in our system to be able to turn on and turn off what we call redox sensitive switches. That's what regulates our immune system. That's what regulates our detoxification systems. And you asked about detox, if I'd address that. And yes, it is true. My wife was one of those experiences where within a week she was doing terrible. At least it seemed she was doing terrible. Within 2 days she had a remarkable change. But then a week went by and she started not doing well, and it kind of caused us to pull back and say, well, what's exactly happening? Because my drug paradigm was kicking in. Like, if you take a drug, you're supposed to get better, right? And she wasn't feeling better. And we realized that what was happening is that her cells were actually working better, which was causing her to detox, or to start to dump all this garbage, and damaged whatever proteins and so forth, metabolic waste that was being stored in her body. She was dumping it, and it was creating symptoms that we call them detox symptoms. And it took a few weeks for her to work through that. You can acclimate a little bit slower. You can hydrate more. You can use some, other collateral supporting agents that will help you through that. But the bottom line is it's really kind of a backdoor validation that it's working. Your cells are starting to work again, and you see yourself through that. And then all of a sudden you kind of it's like water skiing. You finally get up on top of the water where there's some smooth, skiing, and you don't have that resistance working against you. But the detox is working because these energetic molecules are turning on pathway genes that make proteins called glutathione. And the glutathione works in the liver in the phase 2 detoxification pathways to conjugate or attach themselves now to water-soluble toxins that have been made water-soluble through these pathways so that I can eliminate them. If I'm not detoxing, if I'm not making glutathione, if I'm not conjugating and chelating those fat-soluble toxins that build up in my body, then I get sick. I'm poisoning, I'm slowing down, I'm toxifying all my metabolic cycles so that these proteins are damaged and they can't work right, and I get disease and inflammation from that. So this whole, the bottom line here is that when I can restore, when I can recapture function and not be dysfunction, when my cells start working and these pathway genes produce what they're supposed to produce, then I can have the proper metabolic molecules on board that are bioreactive and redox sensitive, such that I make all these innate, internal, responsive pathways work again, and I can get healthy. I heal from the inside out. That's why I think Leland was referring to the 90 days, 90%. But there are some people who are kind of already healthy. I thought I was in one of those, and here's the interesting thing: it wasn't for 2 years until I doubled my dose that my back discomfort went away. And I realized I just hadn't I haven't for myself found the sweet spot, the right dosage for me, because everybody's different. And so anyway, that's kind of my 2 cents on detox. It's a very important part of what redox signaling molecules do.
Cool. Thank you, Lee.
Well, and get that liver healthy, everything else can get healthy. So I had a comment related more to business. I was thinking of what Maureen said. If we can get people to earn enough income to pay for their product, they probably will stay on it longer. And if they can make more income, they'll take more product, which will help them get to their ideal goals quicker. And then you were commenting about if they do their blood work. Well, doing the blood work with the minimum dose at the back of the bottle says 4 ounces. Well, that person might need 8 ounce in their first month as a jump start because the Torrent Labs did 8 ounce. And so it may require that person, if they want to see those ideal blood numbers or their A1C or their HDL, whatever they're trying to achieve, they may want to consider, like Jim did the very first day, he started at 8 ounce. I started at 4. And know of anything wrong, so I just assumed healthy. And we've steadily raised it all the way up to 14. Now we keep very active, and like us, we take more when we ski or hike or do things like that are more aggressive. But I was thinking about the business side of it. When Terry, if you can recall, when Terry shared it with you, as we all know, sometimes it takes 7 touches to finally get somebody. And he didn't give up, which is a great trait. He just kept gently, pursuing you. But did he send you a Genesis video? Did he include an Alan Noble tool? I mean, we try to encourage people when they're out sharing to use a tool. Don't be the expert. Share from a tool. So, so maybe you can think of what he shared with you that got you to start looking. And then I was thinking about your success. In the first 15 weeks, you ranked up pretty quickly. I believe you were at minimum a diamond. And so what did you share as your tool when you were planting a seed to your friends or family? So it's a kind of a twofold. Terry and how he approached you, and then yourself as you got 30 people out the gate within a very short period. Your team was like that. So maybe share that with people that are new.
Yeah. And remember, we're talking to some new people here as well. So we're not all, associates. So giving people hope that they can do this.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, Terry continued to drip on me, and I'll forever be grateful that he didn't give up, because I kind of laughed at it, called it snake oil, but I'd never heard of it before through my medical training. So I just didn't think it was real. But when you're desperate and you're hurting, I was looking for anything, and I was willing to try it. And when I saw that it was non-toxic and couldn't hurt you, I thought, I have nothing to lose to try it. And there was a 30-day money-back guarantee. So I thought, what the heck, I'm going to try it. And lo and behold, it was the best thing ever happened to me. And when I decided that I wanted to start promoting it, I used the Genesis video. That's how I built my business. It talks about the founder and that he was the right-hand man to the president of Kraft Foods. Ran, I think, a $37 or $38 billion division for Kraft, one of the top strategists in the country. And, that was impressive for me to see what he had done. And here he was, retired from Kraft and started something new and brought this to market. And when he did, Jim and Andy was so good that Big Pharma tried to purchase it from him for close to $1 billion. It was a lot of money. And he had built it with the intent to sell. But after having a conversation, they flew out and sat down in an airplane hangar and had meetings, and they looked at the science and said, wow, they didn't think it was possible to do what he created with this ASEA, because he said, we've tried, we can't do it. And he said, well, I've done it. And he said he could hear them on the phone pounding their fist on the desk like, it can't be. We've tried, it's not possible. He goes, would you like to come see it? And so they tried to purchase it, and he turned them down. And how many people turn down that kind of money? But he felt in his own heart that these people were buying it not to promote it, but to bury it, because it would hurt pharmaceutical sales. And so he said no to it and said yes to the people. And that's the kind of guy I think I could follow. And he looked me in the eyes and he told us, he said, this company will be here for your children's children. It's not for sale. And if I'm going to get involved in a company as an entrepreneur, I don't want to build something from somebody else and have it yanked out from under me, because I've built my own company. So when he said it's not for sale, it's a legacy company, that appealed to me. And when I knew that I'd have a product to promote that nobody in the world had but this company, I had no competition. I had something that was totally safe. It was kind of up my alley from being in medicine. But you know what? A lot of people said, you grew so quick because of your background in medicine. That's not so, because I didn't know what Redox was. My excitement and my passion for this product is what got my friends to take a look at it. And then I sent them the tools, because if they get involved and if they feel they have to know everything medical about this, they never grow. I want to keep it so simple and elementary that They can just send a video to somebody, people, and you do that to check their curiosity. Are they interested or are they not? And if they are, I take it to the next step. If they're not, I thank them for their time and I move on. I'm not in a pleading mode or begging people because we don't have to. This company and these products are not on trial. If people are not willing to go research it on their own, I can't help that. So it's not for everybody. I just move on and say next and talk to other people. I'm looking for people that are looking for what I'm looking for, to have another source of income as I get older, to be healthy, to help other people. And so I don't make it about myself, the kind of money that I'm making. I want to make it about my team, and I want to help them achieve their personal goals of health or wealth. And if I can help them achieve their goals by helping them, then I automatically win. And I think that's the beauty of this is people can see when you're real and you really care about them versus you're trying to sell them something. This isn't a transaction that we're doing. This is about getting to know somebody and building a friend and letting them know how much you love and care for them. What I don't want to happen, which did happen to me, I had a friend pass away and I was holding off talking with him because he'd been pretty successful. And when I said at his funeral, I remember the tears flowing down my eyes saying, I was so concerned about what I was making before I approached him. I said, I'll never do that again. So I don't know where people are at financially. I don't know where they are physically. My goal is to be the messenger, to share this beautiful science with people. And if they're interested, call me and we'll talk about it and go to the next step. And I encourage you, the ones that are on the phone tonight, if this intrigues you and you want to be healthier and have a way to make sure extra income, then get back with the person that invited you to this call and look at this stuff, because you won't be sorry at all. It'd be the best thing for me, thing I ever did, because I realized if I don't have my health, I don't have anything. My biggest asset is my health.
Absolutely. I want to ask all three of you, starting with you, Maureen. You were back when the genetic study first came out in 2017, right? And ASEA had to go find these researchers to research the technology, right? Things have changed. Things have changed where there are these new studies that are being, you have a dog barking or what?
My cat, can you hear her?
Kitty cat.
Kitty.
Wait till she jumps up.
But we have these institutions, significant labs all over the world now that are calling ASEA.
Yeah, the times.
What does that?
Yeah.
What does that tell you, all three of you, as medical professionals? How big of a deal is this? Because a lot of people still don't believe, because science says that what we have can't be done. You can't put these active. Sorry, I'm not done talking, Maureen. You can't put these molecules.
So he asked all three of y'all.
You can't do what we have. They say it cannot be done, but yet we have it, obviously. But now these other places are reaching out to us. Again, what does that tell you three as far as how big this is and where this is going? Maureen?
Oh, okay.
Oh, stop it.
Okay. It's fascinating because when the studies were first done, we had some studies even earlier than the Torrey Lab study, which was a genetic study. And it was really what we call a gateway study. They threw out a wide net because we were seeing things happening, but there wasn't really a good explanation for why we saw certain things in different people. So they were trying to see what was affected by taking the ASEA Redox supplement. And they found 5 genes that were known, that have been studied, that were beneficially increase the transcription of them by taking these products in 100% of the participants. Now, interesting, there are studies from before that with Dr. David Neiman at the Appalachian State Human Performance Lab that was done on athletes. But a lot of people would think that those studies were biased because ASEA was paying for them. The reason ASEA was paying for them is because ASEA had the questions. They wanted to know what was going on. They wanted to know how it affected it. And even with Dr. David Neiman, they had to sign different forms saying that Dr. Neiman could publish whatever he found, good or bad. So they were taking a risk, but it wasn't really a risk. They had questions that they were asking that they wanted to get answers to. So of course they were funding it. What's happening now is that as this information is getting out, we're still, even though Redox has become a huge science, we're still the only company, and this just blows my mind, who's been able to stabilize the molecules outside of the body. This company's been around for 14 years. There was a medical biotech company who developed the original technology that our founder, Vertus, that Leland was talking about, purchased. So it's been around for a while. Nobody else has been able to do it. You would think after all this time, somebody else would have figured it out, but they haven't. And, so the word is getting out there. And now universities are coming to us and asking if they can study our product, which is amazing. So it's a third party. They're not trying to validate, they're asking the question, but it's not our money biasing anything, which is what people think. We do have 3 laboratories on site. We have 2 at our production facility and 1 at our headquarters. So we're always doing studies on the product and on Redox, but it's so great to be validated. And some of the information I had referenced in the chat about the white paper that was just released, and Dr. Osler is an absolute expert on NRF2 pathways, so you can speak to that a little bit. But this is amazing information that's come out about our products that has been validated by 2 separate universities, one in the UK and one in Australia. Amazing. This is huge. So thank you, Jim.
Yes.
Yeah, Lee.
Yeah, well, maybe Maureen just kind of cued me in a different direction. Your question, Jim, was
How big is
How
this?
big of a deal is this? I
With
mean,
this-
you have outside labs
The white
that are
paper.
coming to us.
now I'm back. Thanks.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
there's probably internationally one of the bigger associations of professional society was previously, as was all science, looking at what we call free radicals. It was about antioxidants and putting out free radicals. For 40 years, our world industry in the world has been focused on antioxidants to put out oxidation, believing that to be the source of cancer and all diseases and so forth. And recently, they changed their name of this professional society from a focus on antioxidant medicine to the Society for Redox Biology and Medicine. And the point of that is that these energetic molecules that I spoke of earlier that are produced in the mitochondria produce a slight, mild bit of oxidation that we must have in our body in order to activate these healthy stress response mechanisms. We don't want to be constantly neutral, homeostasis, balanced forever, 24/7, 365. We want to challenge our bodies periodically. That's why we have a redox lifestyle. That's why we exercise and actually damage our body when we exercise. That's why we fast. That's why we keto. That's why we lower our glucose levels. That's why we do all of these things in a lifestyle orientation that produces a mild bit of oxidative stress, is so that we can, on purpose, practice or exercise or upregulate our body's innate capacity and ability to be resilient, to be stress resilient. And that's where ASEA comes in, because ASEA's bioreactive molecules, these are redox molecules, made in a laboratory by electrolyzing saline, purified saline. We're doing the same thing that happens in the mitochondria. When I put those in my body, I'm directly creating this mild oxidative stress that turns on these pathway genes by command. It's a pseudo stress. It's a mimicking stress when I do it this way. These are redox biology principles. And that's why this whole Society for Redox Biology and Cellular Health is the coming thing in anti-aging. This is the new thing. The next 20 years, this anti-aging medicine, biohacking the body, biohacking the cell to intentionally, purposefully, and in a practiced, exercised way, hack my cells to do what I want them to do so they can be exercised and stress resilient. That's the whole function of this.
Cool. Leland, you have an advantage because you were medical. You were a doctor, a physician's assistant in orthopedics. Then how many years were you where you had your 3 businesses or more? You did that for how many years?
10-year stints on 2 of them and 8 on this last one. And then I've had my ranch for 30 years. So I've run those 2 businesses, and I had another one, but I sold it because I was spending more time with ASEA. So I do ASEA part-time. I look forward to when I can do it more, but I have other obligations to those other companies that I have to continue until we sell. But
Well, with your background in medical and business, could you ever think of anything that would be bigger as an opportunity to have a business with practically no capital investment? Could you think of anything that would be bigger? And then when you realized what this is and how big it is, what do you say?
it was a wow factor, a shock when I saw what the potential was. I didn't look at it that way. All I cared about was getting healthy. I wasn't thinking about a business side of it at all until I saw what it did for me. And then I saw what the potential was out there. And then the more I researched this company and talked to other leaders, I realized it was tremendous. And to be able to grow to the income that I make is mind-boggling. And to have people all around the country that, I've met and close friends with now, and we all are kind of a like-minded heart to reach out and help others. And we travel around the world doing things together and traveling together. And we have a company that the leadership at the helm is something you don't have to worry about. We just go out and do what we do by sharing it. They do what they do. And I love it because I've always been brick and mortar. So this is, to me, easier. I can do it from home. I don't have all the investment or the risk of money that I had to invest in those other businesses. Excuse me. The risk isn't here. You invest what you take for your product. So I don't know where you can make the kind of money that this company's paying out with really or no investment. And it's safe, 100% safe. It's just an amazing opportunity. I just wish, Jim, that I would have found it at 30, not 60 something, because it'd have been a lot better. But I can tell you this company's allowed me to pay off my 450-acre ranch. It's allowed me to pay off my cattle, to be debt-free. And the biggest thing I guess I got out of it, other than my health, is my time freedom, Jim. And I never really knew what that was because I was always working 14, 16 hours a day, traveling around the country. Now I can go to a couple of weeks at a time and work my business from my phone or my tractor. It doesn't matter. It gave me a time freedom that's beautiful, and I don't have to punch a clock anymore. And that means a lot to me at my age.
Yeah. Speak. Maybe all 3 of you are in as well, but speak to the people out there that go, I don't need it. I'm healthy. We just had a dear friend of ours, 82 years young, was in a really, really bad traffic accident. Gary Ramsey. We always think, you've met him, Maureen, the gentleman you met. He was in a head-on.
Yeah.
Things are building up. Things are happening in your body that you don't know are happening. Can you speak to the people, all 3 of you all? Why should the healthy young people look at this now?
Well, I'll tell you, I thought I was healthy. And then I woke up and I couldn't even roll over on my mattress. So we're losing redox signaling every day in our body. Every year you lose it. And at 70, I've lost probably close to 70% of my body's ability to even make it. So to be able to drink out of this cup, what's in this bottle, and put back into my body what my body's not physically capable of doing anymore at my age, that's a miracle, guys. That's why they're calling one of the 5 top sciences in the world today. To replenish into your body what it's not capable of doing. And so for me, I see this going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And these 2 studies you just talked about, we call it NRF2, but I've talked with some physicians this week. They didn't know what it was when I first said it. They said, "Oh, you're talking about NRF2?" And so they have an abbreviation for it. They call it NRF2. Mm-hmm. So, but they talk about up to 60% healthier in our cells producing glutathione, which is paramount for your health. So just do your homework. And if you want to feel better, make some extra income or not. You get to choose what you want, but I don't think anybody will find anything any better. They're teaching this type of business now at Harvard. It wasn't taught before. I didn't even know it was available. You are a stockbroker, investing money and doing stuff. We've all been in the business aspect of it, but I've never seen an opportunity to make this kind of money. I've never made money this quick before in my whole career.
Yeah.
It grew. And so I'm blessed, and I don't say that to brag. I want people to know what's possible. If I was 20 and 30 years old and knew about this, spend 2 or 3 years working it hard and then play the rest of your life. Have a good time, because you can do that with this business. When I say play, travel, go places, do things without having to go to what I call a normal job. But you're going to work hard wherever you are.
Yeah.
And you're going to have ups and downs in your business wherever you are. This is no different. It's just a different way of moving a product. And when I realized what this was, I just wish I'd have known about it earlier, Jim. That's all I can tell the young people of today. Why? And the people today, they don't want to work 40, 60 hours in building. They love their time freedom. They love to be on their phone and build and build. This is the ideal social media to build your business, face to face, Zoom calls. There's so many ways you can do it. But I would give anything to be 20 or 30 again and know what I know now with this company.
Maureen?
Sure.
Even the healthiest people are dealing with toxins all the time. There's toxins in, the environment, in our food and our water, the air that we're drinking, electromagnetic fields. If you drink alcohol is a poison, so we're dealing with stuff, glyphosate and Roundup and everything. And people always think they're healthy until they get a bad diagnosis. And my brother was one of those people. He has always been incredibly fit, bodybuilder, vegan, pretty much vegan, organic, everything. Just amazing guy in amazing shape. And then he went to the doctor and got bad news. And he came to me and he's like, how did this happen? Well, he, like Leland, owned his own company. So there's a lot of stress associated with that. And you guys, what stress does. You can just look at somebody, what they look like when they enter become the president, and what they look like 4 or 8 years later. Totally different human. Usually they're totally gray. It ages them amazingly. So, the stress can just wreak havoc on your body. So, why I always tell people, dig your well before you're thirsty. Why take
Yeah.
a chance? We already know that we're coming up, even if you're doing everything right, you're coming up against so many other things that your body has to deal with. But I also loved what Leland said. It's so funny. I was thinking about my son who's in his early 30s, and he made a career choice. And, we all do this sometimes. You pick something and maybe you're not all that thrilled with it. And I was
Yeah.
kind of coming up with some other things that he could do that he might like, in my head. I hadn't had the conversation with him. And I was like, gosh, why would I tell him, like Leland and I with our medical education? I was telling somebody the other day, for me to get where I was, I went to college, 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school. I started with a surgical residency. So I did that for 3 years, but then I had a research year. So 4 years in surgery. Then I switched and I worked as an ER doctor for a while, but then I went into anesthesia. So 3 years of anesthesia, and then a year to specialize in pain management. So what is that for 16 years? And you guys, I've been doing this for 10 years, but I've replaced my medical income all by educating people about this incredible biotech breakthrough that is 100% non-toxic, no side effects, just side benefits. Can't make any guarantees, but maybe the answer to prayer for people. And what I do, like Leland, like Dr. Lee, like Jim and Ann, is educate people about this. And when I was thinking about it for my son, I was like, I'm glad he had that job. I'm glad he realized how hard it is to go punch a clock and work 40 hours a week and, beg for some days off or have to wait for your vacation, because people sometimes need to know how hard it is out there before they realize how good
Right.
we've got it here.
Right. So true. Lee?
Yeah, my thought here is, chronic degenerative disease starts 10 to 15 years before it actually presents. And so for us to, and for anybody to say, now I'm healthy and I'm doing well, is really a marker, a sign, or a statement of ignorance. With the medical model today is an interventive, not a preventive model. And so, I don't need to really readdress what, Maureen and Leland have already very well talked about in that regard, because you never know what tomorrow, either through injury or a new diagnosis. How many people went in and came back with gee, you already have stage 3 or 4, whatever. Well, how come I didn't know that last week? And the guy sitting next to me in the football stadium that had a stroke or a heart attack, does that mean the day before or when he was walking into the stadium was cardiovascularly healthy because he didn't have a symptom, right? So these are all important questions. But the other part of this is, there's a book out there called Why It Matters. And it's all about this. You never know what's coming. Any of those things can take you away from your income stream. And I think from a preparedness, we're sitting here talking about being bio-prepared, bio-prepped, if you will, right? But preparedness is also looking ahead and saying, do I have an alternative income stream? Is there another mechanism? And I think Jim was the one that really taught this to me many years ago when we first met. It was like, it's too late if you're already 40 or 50 and you don't have your retirement figured out. And I had an argument with him. Well, it was a disagreement because no, it's not too late. And he goes, no, it isn't. You don't have time. The time that it takes to compound money in the marketplace is not long enough if you're already 40 or 50. If you're 18 and starting, well, then, you've got 40 years. But when you're already 40, 50, or 60, you can't double your money fast enough and quickly enough in order to get there without being a Vegas high roller, and that doesn't ever work. So the point is the question is, you might look at it this way and say, it doesn't really matter what you choose to do. I mean, bake bread for the neighbors, take in their ironing, start a consulting job on the side, figure something out. But you get to choose your hard, right? But you need something on the side that is bringing in alternative income streams. And for us, I mean, most of us sitting here and looking at this, we've chosen this because of all the things Leland talked about earlier. There's no upfront investment. There's no brick and mortar. You're not having to, buy a payment pathway, R&D, storage, shipping, the science, the R&D and so forth, product development. None of that's there. We just simply share, and we can develop a residual, reproductive income, which is not about trading time for dollars because it builds on itself. So those are all reasons that keep me in the game. We all could do better than we do, but it's like those are important considerations and what I call why it matters.
Exactly.
And
Well, I was just thinking about Leland when you first, were not feeling well. Something was brewing, and because you worked so hard and so many hours, and the day before was, I'm sure, a grind, your oxidative stress was through the roof, but you didn't know that the body was about to attack itself. But those that choose to get on the molecules, though, we're not claiming cure, diagnose, treat, or even necessarily, we're not saying you're not going to get something. But if our body is armed with more molecules, knowing we're going to lose them every year, now our body can fight against that onslaught and recover, at least get to the balanced state or the homeostasis a little sooner. I mean, I think about so many people who haven't made the choice to get on these molecules. I think about Jim. Where would he be had he not gone on this, going on 9 years in June? So, I mean, now we can be prepared. God forbid an accident. God forbid something shows up. You start feeling bad tomorrow morning, start taking a little bit more molecules. Keep doing them until that issue, gets better. And, you can start sharing it with people as you start seeing changes.
so, Leland, you want to wrap it up real quick before we announce who's on next week with Dr. Osler?
Oh,
Yes. I think we've said a lot tonight, but what I will just tell you is that this product is a game changer. We have 14 products, and I'm so impressed with these products and what they're doing, and I'm seeing people's lives change. And for me, it's just super gratifying. I plan on doing this for a long time. I'm going to help as many people as I can and try to give back what Terry did for me. If I can just give back to other people at this point, it's not necessarily for me just about the money. I have other companies. I have my ranch. I do other things. My goal is to see how many people lives I can change. And if I do that, I'm going to continue to grow and develop in this company. So I don't want to make it about me, but I do know there's people out there hurting both physically and financially, and I have an answer for it. And so, and you have an answer for it, and Maureen has an answer for it. We all started and grew to a point, and you can grow to whatever level you want. I've trained under and worked with a guy that has made millions of dollars a year. He said the majority of the people want an extra $500 to $1,000 a month to help pay their income, their groceries, take care of their kids. And if that's all you want, we can do that pretty quick if you're willing just to work with me, to work with you, or to work with whoever brought it to you. And when you get to that level, you say, wow, that was easy. I think I can get to the next level. And it's not a race, it's a journey. And you can move to different levels in the company, and you can just change people's lives. So if you care about helping others, you want to work with a wonderful group of people. It's not a risk because it's been around for 14 years. It's real. Just how bad you want to change your life, and you can do it and don't have to know anything about this product. There are videos and tools to help you achieve your level of success. So we would all love to work with the ones we invited to the call tonight. So feel free to reach out to us. If you have questions, we'll answer those. And if you want to move forward, great. And if you don't, that's okay too. When something comes up like I did, I said no for 2 years. I said yes when I had a health challenge. So it's not always right now. It's not about, we want to see immediate gratification for a lot of people. I used to be that way when I first started. Now I don't. I just keep enough people in the pipeline talking it. So when there is a challenge or a loved one that has an issue, they call you. And that's what it's all about. So I just highly recommend it. And I appreciate the opportunity to share this beautiful science and this company with people all over the world tonight.
You're awesome.
Thank you. And I do want to issue a double dog challenge. Alan Noble has created something that I challenge everyone here to go and listen to 3 testimonials a day with real Redox results. Sorry, had a brain fart. realredoxresults.com. Password is lowercase Redox. Go listen to the last 3 or 4 testimonials. They will move you to tears.
Yeah.
Hannah, if you're listening, thank you. To Mike McFarland, thank you. To Dean. These are life-changing stories, and you have to ask yourself one question. What if this is real?
Right.
May not be for you, but I will say flat out, who do you know that is praying right now for either a health or a wealth miracle? There's a lot of people out there that need this. So please help us take this to the world. Dr. Osler, are you going to have Ray on next week with Dr. Lynn?
Yeah,
Ooh.
Dr. Wayland.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one, guys. Maureen and Ann and myself and Leland will be, Maureen, you have a wedding, but we will be in doing a meeting up in Carrollton, Texas, with an ASEA meeting on Saturday. So we will be going up there Friday. So Dr. Osler has, as always, graciously accepted the challenge of doing this by himself, but he's got a very unique guest next Friday you don't want to miss.
That's great.
Yeah, Dr. Wayland, MD, PhD. He's actually the individual a few years ago who told my wife and I that we needed to put her on redox signaling molecules. And we did, and we've been blessed ever since. And so he's been very busy. He's a busy man, very bright, intellectual man. He spent 6 years in pharmacology as a researcher, and then came back into internal medicine, which was his original training. Brilliant man. So we're going to have him on, and Dr. Ray from Thailand, Phuket, Thailand, is going to be the co-host with me, interviewing Dr. Lynn. So please come join us next Friday.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, again, 2 cautions. Don't ever go to Google to get research. You go to redoxmatters.com. You go to discoverredox.com to get proper research, and don't go to Amazon to buy your product. Get back to the one that invited you to this. Respect. We are small business minded people, and people like Leland and Maureen and Lee and us, we're maybe a little bit bigger business minded people. We're going to make this a global operation. So please respect that. This recording will be available on redoxmatters.com in a matter of about an hour. Sorry, we had some issues getting the people access into the Discover ASEA. We will pass out the other link from now on. So guys, thank you. God bless. And we will see you back next week. And Maureen, have fun at your wedding next
Yeah, we'll
weekend.
miss you.
We'll miss
Hey,
you.
You have a great meeting. Leland, thank you so much. It was
Thank you,
awesome.
Leland.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Leland.
Great.
Leland. We'll see you next weekend.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a
Bye-bye.
lot.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Night.